awakened by a mutilated, crazed animal who seeks her beauty to appease the bloodlust of a devil bridegroom, pursued to the canyons of hell to the edge of sanity by the bestial craving of the Prince of Darkness.
The Bone Metal Zone.
You know, I asked some people online what they wanted me to ask you, and the question that kept coming back over and over from my listeners was, how do you guys keep things fresh after so many years, and what inspires you to make new music after all this time of being together and keeping things new and interesting for you?
Well, that's a nice question. That's a good question. That's really neat. It's kind of two parts of the answers to that. I mean, the way we keep it fresh is the music inspires us and the fans. This Flight 666, it really does show you the passion and the love that we have for what we do together. And I had an old analogy of that as like, you know, that it's like a love affair that we have with one another. No gay love, boys and girls. Don't get me wrong.
It's a bromance.
Hey?
It's a bromance.
A bromance, yeah. It's like the love affair is our music, and the sex is the music. You know, the love affair is us playing together, and the music's the sex, if you like. It's a very weird thing to think of in that respect, but there's a passion, and then there's a class to our music. We love to play our music together. We love to get up doing the old stuff, doing the new stuff. We do things that we want to do. We're very selfish in that respect, Nikki, you know. But I think what it really does boil down to is the passion, and there's a class to what we do, and we don't accept anything less than 100%. When we don't give 100% each, sometimes you go on stage and you make a couple of mistakes, or things weren't quite sitting right and you played terribly, you know. And all of us will go, you know, no one has any qualms to turn around and say, I'm really sorry, lads. Yeah, you know, I want to make me apologies for, you know. And every one of us will do that if we feel that we haven't played well. First of all, we you know, we feel like we've let the band down, and then we think, God knows what the fans think, you know. And it's like, well, you know, you played well. No, I didn't, you know. And it's funny, sometimes you do a gig and it isn't that really that good, and someone comes into the dressing room and goes, "Oh, that's the best time I've never seen you play like that. That's brilliant." And then other nights you play really well, and someone comes in and goes, "Oh, well, so good." And we look at one another and go, what do we know? You know.
So what you're saying is there's no egos in the dressing room?
No egos, but there is that passion, and that's what keeps it fresh for us. We just love, you know, I think that each of us, possibly you might get a slight different answer from them. I don't know whether it would be a different answer from them, but we love to be, that's where we really come alive when we're on stage together. That's what we know how to do it, and we love to do it together. As far as keeping, you know, getting new innovations together, what happens is once we get into a studio mode and we get into writing mode, it's like we want to write the best album we've ever written. And, you know, some people say, do you ever sort of think of, how are you going to top that one? And how did that one top that one, you know?
Yeah, where does that inspiration come from?
It just, I think it's from life experience. I'm sure that there'll be something written on this. I would be very surprised if there isn't something written about the experience of this tour. Mm-hmm. In as much, I don't think you know. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying there will be. You know, I'm not saying there will be, but it would. You know, it's a life experience, and certain things have happened on this tour that probably would get written about.
So, do you think with like the past influence of historic events and World War II, that writing about the recent conflicts in the Middle East would come into the new album?
Possibly, yeah. You know, I mean, we do seem to be kind of current affairs topic band in a way. You know, like, and then you might find, you know, songs like Sign of the Cross or, you know, For the Greater Good of God on the last album, you know, which is then just an observation and a question of faith. You make your own mind up. No one writes a song in Maiden and says, "Oh, I think this is what's going on." You know, it's like, what do you think? You know.
What's that process like? Do you guys each come in with your own songs, or is it very collaborative?
It's more collaborative. Although, you know, Steve is the most prolific writer in the band. He tends to write. He'll cloister himself away at home or wherever he is, and He'll write the tune, the melody. He'll have the solo melodies worked out in his mind, and then he'll write lyrics, and he'll have the melody of the lyrics. He's a very stern believer in melody. It's Steve Harris, and I'm not saying that, and the rest of the guys aren't. Excuse me, either. But Steve will, come to the table and he'll go, "Oh yeah, look, here's a song for us. Like, this is how the verse goes, Nick. This is how, this is the kind of rhythm I see." And then we'll let me run with it. Mm-hmm. It's very rare nowadays we'll say, "Right, I want you to do goof, gaff, or whatever,"
I can't imagine that.
It like that, I'll say, "Go and show me how to do it on the drum kit."
Yeah.
That stops him.
Are you able to play that slow?
But so no, he and then the collaboration. Steve will get together with Davey on his own, or he'll get together with Adrian and Bruce together, and the three of them will sit down, and Bruce will have an idea that he's worked with Adrian on, and then they sit. So it's collaboration pretty much, and. Normally what will happen is if I come to the table with something, I'll present it when we're all in the room together, So this album, I'm not sure how it's going to work because Steve is not going to be in England until next year.
Skype.
He's going to be over my side of the water, so I might more than likely will collaborate with him more than the other two guys, or four guys.
And Nicko, are there any artists out there that you're finding really influential or enjoyable, whether they be older or newer?
It's a nice question again, Nick. I don't really get to listen to a lot of new music. I do like Shadows Fall. Mm-hmm. I like Tool. I tend to go more with the older bands that I grew up listening to when I listen to music. So I don't tend to really know a lot of the new guys that are going on out there,
But old or new, I mean, who do you put in your iPod or your CD player when you're out on the road and you want to listen to something that's not you?
Oh, Pink Floyd.
Nice.
The Who. Well, I think music tends to go in a cycle or a circle of, every sort of decade. It's like a fashion. Music, and I think people's tastes change, and like fashions change, Mm-hmm. And people are going to think, what's he on about? How can music be? Well, one time, heavy metal. Say 8 years ago, it wasn't fashionable. It wasn't it to like heavy metal. Now It seems to be, it's the thing that people are loving to listen to again. There's more popularity. And with the web, and you've got like the Anvil movie coming out, you've got Iron Maiden movie coming out, Metallica getting, into the Hall of Fame and all that sort of stuff. And it's hit to love it again.
But
I think it's a cycle. I don't know, say 8 years or 10. I just feel that's so. Therefore, I think that sort of music, like Floyd and that bluesy Zeppelin influence, will come back out, and there'll be some bands that come out and reach popularity with that kind of material.
Thank you, Nicko McBrain, for your time and for explaining everything to us. It was wonderful.
Oh, you are so very welcome, Nikki, and thank you very much for having me on your show. And well, what can I say to Bone? I love the name. That's brilliant. Nikki, I wish I was with you in person. We had some more time, but thank you, everybody, and look forward to seeing you in a theatre.
And hopefully we'll see you back here on the tour for the new album.
You bet, mate, and I hope to catch up with you in person.
Excellent. Me too. Thanks, Nicko.
Bye-bye, Nikki.
Bye.
The Bone Metal Song.